Welcome back to Loanology. My name is Jonathan Wells, and I am here to help you guys talk about one of my favorite topics, which is how to retire and invest and, grow your personal net worth, right? Hello, and welcome to Loanology, your go-to podcast for unlocking the secrets of the mortgage and real estate world. I'm Jonathan Wells, and I'm here to guide you through everything from first-time homebuyer grants to the latest trends in real estate. Whether you're buying your first home, looking to refinance, or simply interested in the market, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll dive deep into topics that matter to you, the consumer. We'll demystify the mortgage process, explore innovative financial solutions, and provide you with the tools and knowledge you need to navigate the real estate market confidently. From interviews with industry experts to tips on improving your credit score and securing the best mortgage rates, Loanology is your ultimate resource for all things mortgage and real estate. So, whether you're here to learn a few tips, find your next home, or just curious about the market, tune in and let's make your real estate journey a successful one. So, for everyone that is watching this, you probably know who I am. I'm a mortgage lender, and I focus on helping people purchase usually their first home. Sometimes they're buying an investment property, sometimes they're buying a second home, sometimes they're moving up to a new, bigger house or downsizing to a smaller house. But I'm the guy you talk to when you're looking to purchase a home. And what people may not know is how I get a lot of my business and how I win it and make sure the client's comfortable working with me is because I show them not just how to purchase the home, but how this home is going to fit in their overall financial picture, right? I think a lot of mortgage lenders don't do that. They really just sell, here's what your payment is, here's what it costs for you out of pocket, let's get you into the house and let's move it on to the next one, right? For me, as long as my clients are open to it, I always want to share how this mortgage could fit in their financial picture and what they can be doing additionally to that to help them save more money, invest more money, grow a higher net worth, and really at the end of the day, make a sound investment, right? So just with me being younger in the business, that's how I differentiate myself and how, we really, again, make that client experience better, right? So I'm no financial expert. Everything here, definitely do your research on. Talk to any accountants, CPAs, financial advisors that that are actually licensed to give you specifics on these. I'm going to give general outlines, and then you guys do your own research. This is for educational purposes only, or not educational. This is for entertainment purposes only. And yeah, we're going to get into this here. So we're going to talk about early bird advantage versus late bloomers hustle. So comparing the two different, like someone who invests a lot earlier in their life versus somebody who delays that investment, into a little bit later. So if you're watching this, chances are you're probably between the ages of 20 and 35. So this is definitely the target demographic to be having this conversation with and really looking at, helping you understand how this works and how you can capitalize with the knowledge that you have now to kind of set it and forget it, with your finances. So just to give you a little bit of background on myself and how I did this, starting out, I got in the mortgage business when I was 18 years old, and I decided that, this was going to be the career for me. It's what I was going to pursue. And so, with the company that I started with, most companies you have to be 21, I think, to get a 401k. But I was able to get a 401k at 18 with the company that I started with, and I automatically set aside 10% of my gross pay into my 401k, right? And so this is something that, if your company offers a 401k or any kind of retirement plan, definitely look into it. There's a few different advantages there. First one is for me with the 401k, especially now, I'm saving money on my taxes by doing this, right? So for those of you who might not know how the tax system works, let's say you're making $100,000 a year, right? Well, the first, I think it's $12,000 or whatever is not taxed, and then anything over that you're getting taxed. I think it's 10%, and then 15%, 18%, and it goes from there, right? So it scales. So if anybody ever says oh, I don't want to, I don't want to get this raised because it's going to put me in the next tax bracket. Well, only the money that you're making over that amount is actually taxed at that bracket, right? It's a tiered system. So let's say, your top tier tax bracket for state and federal is going to be 35%, right? And that would be maybe on 35%, but it's only on $5,000 to $10,000 of your pay because it's the top part of your pay, right? So by contributing to a 401k, that is all money that you're putting in there pre-tax. So let's say you made $100,000 that year, but you maxed out your 401k at 19,500. Well, now according to the government, you're only making, what is that, $80,500? I think is what that is. Yeah, $80,500. Oh, the lights just went off in here. No, it's okay. So you're only actually getting taxed on $80,500 because you made 100, but you put 19.5 into the 401k before you saw it and it was actually in your paycheck, right? So that's a really good way for you to capitalize on some tax advantages of these accounts, and also it allows you to put more money aside that grows tax free, right? Because if you took in that as a distribution and invested it in like a Roth IRA, then you'd be investing 35% less, so that would be probably in the neighborhood of like $15,000, right? And again, there's tax advantages to both. So if you do a Roth and you contribute after you've actually received the money and paid taxes on it, then that money grows and it's not taxed when you take it out in retirement. So there's a lot of different ways and different strategies you can use to invest with different vehicles, whether it's a 401k, a Roth IRA, brokerage account, life insurance policies. There's a lot of different ways that you can actually invest into these things. However, talk with your financial advisor, see what works best for you. I'm just talking about rates of return and what your total account balance should be, over time, right? So that being said, I invested in my 401k. I've got a decent amount of money in the 401k now, just because I've been investing in it, anywhere from 10 to 20% ever since I was 18, and I've maxed it out, I believe, like every year since 2020, I believe. So it's been fun. Really enjoyed, like seeing that grow over time, right? And I know that, in the next, 40 years, it's going to be, it's going to continue to. Looking to buy your first home in Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Tennessee, or Florida? Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or a seasoned veteran, Jonathan Wells here with the John Wells Group, powered by Leader One Financial, is your go-to mortgage expert. Join my monthly webinar where I walk you through the process of purchasing your dream home with potentially less than $10,000 down as a first-time homebuyer. Don't miss out. Register today with the link below and take the first step towards homeownership. Snowball and build up, and it's going to really help me out in retirement. So, yeah. The power starting early. Let's talk about how compound interest works. So I've got two examples. Let's say that you are 18, right? And so I put this in as an example for a Roth IRA because each account is going to have contribution limits typically. So let's say you're starting out at 18 and you got your first job, and maybe you're going to school, maybe you're doing whatever, right? I'm a huge proponent of always making an income, even if you're in school or anything else, right? Like, be resourceful. You don't have to work at Domino's or Papa John's or whatever at the college, and for $12 an hour, you can do side hustles, right? You can, like, maybe you're smart with school, maybe you tutor some of your classmates, you make a couple bucks off of that, right? Or maybe you, like, again, get resourceful, find some side hustles, find some gig work. Maybe instead of drinking every weekend, you drink one weekend and you Uber people the other 3 weekends, right? Like, there's lots of different ways that you can be making money in the gig economy, especially as an 18-year-old. If you have a full-time job or if you're going to school, you can still do stuff on the side to help you make more money, right? So monthly contribution, let's say it's $500 because you maxed out a Roth IRA at $6,000 a year. So $500 a month, $6,000 a year. And let's say you do that and you just do the $500 for 47 years. That would get you to the age of 65, right? And let's say your estimated rate of return is 7%. Well, if you just did that, right, from years 18 to 65, you would have just under $2 million in your Roth IRA. So you'd have 1.9, So $1,975,346.32, right? Now here's where the kicker comes in. If you waited until you are 25, right, to start this, so you waited 7 years, got out of college, started doing this after college, right? So $500 a month for 40 years, same interest rate. You would actually have, because you lost that 7 years, you would only have $1,197,810.67, right? So you're literally losing about $700,000 because you waited 7 years, right? Now again, you would still have $1 million, right? 1.2 million, and assuming at that point you probably have your house paid off, hopefully as well, and whatever, right? But this is why it's super important to set it and forget it, because that's the only way that I've been able to accumulate any amount of money is I just have it auto draft into my account and I don't check it, right? Like I just spend the money that I've got in my account and I make sure that it lasts for whatever I need it to do. All my savings is automatically taken out without me even looking at it, right? So that's what's really helped me be able to accumulate wealth is, again, just setting it and forgetting it. Because you'll always find a way to spend the money you have. Like you're not going to just put it into savings and not touch it, right? Plus, if you actually put money into like a savings account, right, and that's that's your savings or your investments or your retirement, if it's just a savings account, you're not making nearly enough on the interest on that account, even in today's economy where you have high yield savings accounts that are paying between 3 and 5% or more. It's just not going to be enough, right? You need to have that invested into something that's going to continue to go up in value, because not only is that going to give you a higher yield, that could help combat inflation, but if you're investing in the right companies, those companies are going to continue to be more valuable, and you could sell off the shares and everything else, right? So let's take another stab at this. Let's see, based on let's say you want to retire with a certain amount of income, right? Let's say you want to retire with $80,000 a year in income. We'll assume that your house is paid off, and we'll assume that you really have no expenses, maybe a car payment, obviously insurance, taxes, and anything that you have for your lifestyle, right? Let's say that overall you want to have about 80 grand saved, and you're 23 right now, and your retirement age is 75, right? So we're going to increase it by 10 years, because again, I think that most people in our generation that are again between the ages of 18 and 35, I think that we're probably going to work into our 70s, just because that's probably the only way that we're going to be able to actually retire. And it just keeps getting a little bit more financially harder for the next generation, but also life expectancies keep going up. So I think that we're probably going to be working into our 70s. Let's say you've got $20,000 right now saved for retirement as a 23-year-old, which I'll admit it's a pretty big step, or a pretty big, task, right? Like that's a lot of money for a 23-year-old. And let's say that you make 7% in the market before retirement, because you're investing in more aggressive things. And then after retirement, let's say you're making 3%. So you put like almost everything into bonds, and you're making a much more conservative amount in retirement. All it would take for you to retire with that income would be $310 a month from age 23 to age 75, right? Assuming you already had $20,000 saved. Now, for everyone out there that might be thinking, oh, well, I don't have $20,000 in retirement. I've only got $1,000 or $5,000. Let's do $5,000. And again, the first example, you needed $310 a month to retire with an $80,000 a year income, already having $25,000 or $20,000 in the bank. If you change it to $5,000, so $15,000 less, it goes from $310 a month you need to save to $389 that you would need to save. So it increases by... Attention financial planners, Jonathan Wells here with the John Wells Group, powered by Leader One Financial, and I'm here to collaborate with you. Whether your clients are purchasing a new home or refinancing for a debt consolidation in Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Tennessee, or Florida, I'm providing expert mortgage solutions tailored to their financial strategies. Book a virtual meeting with me to explore how we can optimize their financial plans. Schedule now at the link below, and let's build stronger financial futures together. $79. if you've got $5,000 less saved right now, right? That's the power of compound interest. It does not take that much for you to be investing, especially at a young age, to have that money grow, into like a really big portfolio, right? So now let's give another example. Let's do rate of return. So the rule of 72. All right, let's do $1, nothing extra, 7% for, let's say you're 20, right? So you're going to be investing for 45 more years. So every dollar that you invest at 20 years old, if you retire at 65, is worth $21, right? So think about that. For every $1,000 you invest, it's going to be $21,000 when you retire, assuming a 7% return. And if you did 55 years, so you retire at 75, it'd be worth $41, right? So for every $1,000 I can put aside into my retirement into my investments when I'm in my 20s, it's going to be paying me, again, 41 times that over the next 55 years. That's insane. That's where I'm 25 right now. If I was 20, I'd be shoving as much as I can into my retirement, and I'm shoving as much as I can into my retirement now, right? Like, this is, even if you can only do $100 a month or a few dollars a month or whatever it is, find a way to beg, borrow, and steal to get that money into an investment, paying you 7%. Again, 401k, Roth IRA, those are great places to start depending on your employer and what they offer. Also, 401ks, they do matches and things like that too, so that does help with you getting that. Shout out to Isaac, a client of mine. He's looking to buy a house right now. He's under contract. Let's get it closed out, buddy. What he's doing is he works for a large corporation, and we were talking about different loan types that he could be taking out, different interest rates and everything to help him make sure he's getting the best deal possible for his new home. And we were talking, and I was like, hey, just out of curiosity, I was like, are you currently maxing out your 401k? And he mentioned, he's like, yeah, I am. I was like, cool, awesome. How much do you have in there? He gave me the number, and it was a decent sized number for somebody that's his age. He's I think he's between 20 and 21. And I was like, dude, that's awesome. I was like, you remind me a lot of where I was at when I was, your age 4 years ago, right? And, I was like, it's really refreshing to see somebody have these principles in place, and they're already pushing as much money as they can into, into that category of their life, right? So again, anything that you can do to put as much money as possible into one of these accounts, make sure that you're doing it, because it will pay you dividends later, and you'll be so thankful that you don't have to worry about money in retirement. How many people do we know when we go check out at Walmart that, and again, nothing against Walmart greeters, but they're working, greeting everybody because they have to have an income, in retirement, right? I know for me personally, I'm probably never going to stop working. I like having something to do. I like being busy. Obviously it'd be way more relaxed than what I'm doing right now. But I still would want to have something to keep myself interested, right? And moving and thinking and everything else. But I want to have the option to work. I don't want to have to work because I need it, right? So I think that's what kind of resonates with a lot of people. I would love to be, in Florida boating, as often as I can. But maybe still I'm going to do something that, kind of gives me a sense of purpose, gives me a sense of responsibility, to keep me fulfilled in retirement, right? So, definitely. Let's see what else here. So, tips for effective retirement planning at any age. So you can review different retirement tools and apps. Honestly, I just use the compound interest calculator investor.gov. So it's a public resource you can use, puts everything together there. It's awesome. As far as budgeting goes, again, for me, I need to be better about actually budgeting every single dollar. But what I do is, paycheck comes in anywhere from 10 to 20%, depending on, how things are going in that month, is going towards retirement. And then, as soon as I max out my 401k, I'm putting more money into other accounts that I can use for retirement that have different purposes. Uh, and then I'm paying my bills and everything with the money that I have left over, right? So again, I would definitely recommend contributing anywhere from 10 to 20% of your pre-tax income into retirement as much as you can. I know that certain financial situations are different for certain people, but as much as you can put aside, even if it's just $100 a month, right? That's just going to help you, and over time, it's going to grow, right? A lot of times, it doesn't feel like a lot right now, but you have to remind yourself that it's going to be a lot more in the future. Yeah. If there's so obviously encouraging you guys to evaluate your current financial situation and retirement plans, consult with a financial advisor, and or just create a retirement strategy, right? Set aside the money, set up your 401k, set up your IRA, whatever it is, put it all aside, don't touch it, move it over, and then just watch it grow, right? So please let me know if there's anything extra I can do for you. You should have my email. It is jonathanwellsprivate@gmail.com. Shoot me an email there, and I'd love to chat with you. Get any questions you have on the podcast. And yeah, until the next time, I will talk to you all soon. Make it a great day.